Key hazards during harvest are certainly truck flow patterns. We have truck drivers on site that may not be familiar with our location, so making sure we're having those meaningful pre-shift briefings every morning. Here at Bartlett, we have what's called the SHAPS process, and it's really, what am I doing, what could go wrong, and what will I do about it? And we believe if team members will ask those 3 questions every time, we can ensure that team members will go home safely every day.
One of the biggest things and one of the biggest hazards in the ag industry, specifically in the grain industry, is out of condition grain. Whenever grain gets out of condition, one of the things we have to do is we have to put a body in harm's way. And so understanding what type of grain that we're going to get in, the quality of that grain, the moisture, the test weight, and all of that will play a determining factor in making sure that we can keep that grain in high quality.
When we're dealing with safety at harvest time, you really have a lot of new visitors and new people coming into the workforce during that short period of time. A lot of times have young farm children that might be operating farm vehicles, and you also have the opposite end. You have the older generation that are coming back to help just for that short period of time. We really need to be observant to what they're doing and how they operate around our facility as well.
When we go into this harvest, we're going to see a lot of employees that haven't seen a harvest before, and just the training and preparation now to get them trained in what looks right, what doesn't look right, what's right and wrong, giving them the authority to stop at any time if something doesn't look right or doesn't seem right or is unsafe.
During harvest, I think rest is very important. We know from research, tired people can lead to injured people. I think some of the key hazards for this upcoming harvest include labor. That continues to be a major issue in our industry. So as we are recruiting people, making sure that our training is in place, making sure we have the tools for those people to do their job safely.
One of the biggest key hazards that I believe is out there in the grain handling industry is grain bin entry. Whether it's cooperatives or other grain handling facilities or farmers themselves getting into grain bins and getting entrapped. We have a robust training program where we bring all employees that will be working in the grain handling areas and train them on how to enter grain bins safely.
As we go into every harvest season, it's really critical that we spend some time for harvest prep. Because 9 times out of 10, if you haven't done the pre-planning, things will fail at the most important time. So guidance and advice there, do all of your pre-planning, and then do some also pre-planning with employee structures. Make sure we have rotations for our crews. Make sure that we reach out to different people that may have worked in the industry that has that experience. It's a difficult thing to train employees at harvest time. So we need to either bring them on and onboard them in advance or reach out to some of our retired senior employees that have left the organization that have that experience to come back and work those seasonal duties.
In Michigan, one of our big things is we have a lot of double semis with a lead and a pup, and you have to be really careful that when they aren't done and they're in between there, that the drivers aren't pulling away. So it's a matter of educating the employees and also the farmers.
Hazards I anticipate us running into, or the grain industry running into, is having enough space for all the grain. So we need to make room before harvest, working long hours. Farmers want to cut while they can cut, and we need to be there to take their grain when they want to come in. So managing worker fatigue during the fall may be a challenge too as well.
We've gone through a journey of what we call human organizational performance, HOP. And so one of the things that we see a lot in HOP is that the work environment is dynamic. It's ever changing. And so our employees are making safety decisions constantly. Preparing those people to make those decisions is critically important.
Every incident is avoidable. And if you believe that, we truly can get to zero. And if you have that belief, you'll continue to drive improvements and get stronger and better.
For me, it's about relationship. It is understanding that the person next to you isn't always going to be on their A game, and so when they're not, you got to step up and help them out. Point out the things that they're doing, maybe not the safest. Leadership is a big part of that. Leadership basically says, hey, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do things the right way.
A strong safety culture can help you respond to an incident in many ways. The best things that I see is when we bring people from other facilities and we form a team, and really try to get to the root cause of an incident where we could be open, we could be in a no blame type situation, and really, try to root out what caused the incident, and then we share that information among all of our facilities and even with the industry where it makes sense.